Hello, I'm Paul, and this is Paul Plays with Fire. Welcome. Come on in and grab a chair. Today on the show, we're making hash brown omelets. What is a hash brown omelet? It's like you took two of my favorite things, hash browns and Denver omelettes, and then you mixed them all together into something wonderful. Let's get into it. I am hungry. First thing, let's talk through the ingredients. Well, the start of every good hash brown omelet is hash browns, of course. We're going to use my usual. We're going to use the Idahoan dehydrated hash browns. We've used these many times in the past, and it's very successful with it. You add an equal amount of water and hash browns together and let them rehydrate, depending on how hot the water you was when you mixed them together. If you put boiling water together with the hash browns, they're ready in I think 10-15 minutes. I used 150-degree water. They're ready in about a half an hour. You could use room temperature water and they'd be ready tomorrow. So we don't have that much time, so we use the 150-degree method. But they're just the most dependable hash browns. And here's what they look like after they have been dehydrated. They're all nice and fluffy. They're just a little bit moist, but not too moist. They'll dry right out when we get them on the griddle. And what's the secret to good hash browns? Butter. Lots and lots of butter. Butter and neglect is like what I like to say. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And since we're making an omelet, we need eggs. We have 4 farm fresh eggs. We'll scramble those up right before we're ready to put them onto the omelets. We're going to be making 2 omelets today. So we've got enough eggs for 2 omelets and enough hash browns for 2 omelets. So I'm sure we'll have too much food. That's just the way it works out around here. And then because we're making Denver omelettes, we've got my holy trinity. My holy trinity is peppers, onions, and ham. Not quite the same as the Cajun Holy Trinity or the sofrito or the marpeau. This is my Holy Trinity. And it wouldn't be a Denver omelet without American cheese. So we've got plenty of American cheese still in the wrapper. And that's about it. That's it. That's just how simple it is. We'll get that together here real quick. We'll get the griddle going and then we'll start cooking. Well, our griddle is up to temperature now. It's about 400 degrees. 375, 400 here in the middle in the hottest part. So that's about right for hash browns for what we need. So we're gonna put some avocado oil. Oh yeah, that's another important ingredient. Avocado oil, it's what we almost always use. If we're not using butter or bacon fat or ghee, it's probably avocado oil. Then we'll spread that oil around a little bit. And what we want here is to make a couple of rectangles of hash browns. Rectangles so that we probably want to go this way, so that we can flip them so about twice as tall as they are wide, so that we can flip them over, turning them into an omelet in the end. We'll kind of equally divide these hash browns between the 2 piles. And then we'll do our best to shape them into the rectangles we were talking about. Well, we did our best. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what counts, right? Okay, we're gonna let those sit for a little bit. We got some weather going on, so don't be surprised if you hear anything violent, thunder and or rain or wind. Like having the door open, but it does have its downsides. And then, like I said earlier, one of the secrets to hash browns is butter. The other secret is neglect. You shape them into the shape that we're shaping them, which is we've done. Put some butter pats on the top of them, let that melt into there, and then leave them alone for 10 minutes. And I tell you, neglecting food on the stove or neglecting food on the cooking surface, that's just second nature to me. I don't have to think too much about that. Now that we have those going, we're going to go ahead and start our Holy Trinity, our bell peppers, our onions, and our ham. And we've got a hot spot over here. That'll be perfect for that. Another thing I should mention is that this goes together really quickly. I mean, you just don't have to, I probably ought to put a little oil onto that. But you don't have to think too much about this. I mean, you just get, once you get those hash browns ready, once you get those hash browns rehydrated, then your peppers and your onions and your eggs, everything just goes all together real quick. And sometimes that's just what you need. There, while we're neglecting our hash browns and cooking our Holy Trinity, our onions and peppers and ham, we're going to take a little break and we'll see you in a little bit. The hash brown omelet first came to my attention back a couple years ago. This is before I had a Blackstone griddle or even knew what one was. I don't get out much. This is also before I had a Blackstone pizza oven and even before I'd started the Paul Plays with Fire YouTube channel. I was sitting there on the couch flipping through YouTube one night and I ran across Rob and his True North Cafe. He was making hash brown omelets on a Blackstone griddle. I was mesmerized. What is he making and what is he cooking it on? He also was a good Midwestern folk like myself, so that also helped. Well, that was a couple years ago and look where we are now. Go figure. Thanks, Rob, for the inspiration. Okay, our hash browns have been sufficiently neglected and I think they're getting pretty close to done, and the same goes for our peppers and onions and ham, our Holy Trinity. That also looks just about right. So we're gonna get going with our eggs. First we gotta crack them. There's another tip from Paul Plays with Fire. If you drop shell into your egg, use another shell to get it out. Something about attraction, I don't know, but it works. Then we're gonna add a little salt to those eggs. And then just beat them up real quick. We might have too much egg here, but that just means the dog gets some. She'll be happy about that. I can turn that burner off. I think I can turn these burners off too. We're just about done here. This egg doesn't take very long. And the trick, so you put a little salt in there. The trick is to just pour some onto your omelet and try not to run over the edges. Always has to be a little overzealous one. Kind of work that in. Rob was such a master at this. He worked in a cafe, I think, where he made hundreds, thousands of them, he said. That's how you get good at something. Okay, that's enough. I remember somebody mentioning my lack of pizza stretching skills once. I said, you know, I could go get a job at a pizza place in town and I could do 100 pies a night for about 30 days and then I'd be where I want to be. I just don't have that kind of time. So I'm at a point in my life where I recognize that I'm good at some things, I'm not good at other things because I just don't have enough time to be good at it yet. Now we're going to add our cheese. Gonna run away again. And I have turned the burner off. I mentioned that earlier, but burner is off. Seems like the American cheese slices that I remember from my youth used to be a little thicker than this. These seem to be paper thin. Like I can read through them. That's how thin they are. Just call me a grumpy old man. Now it still looks like our egg is not entirely set, which is true. But as soon as I add all this hot stuff to it and then flip it over on itself, it's going to be done just like that. We're going to do our best here. I swear I've made this before and it turned out pretty good. Oh, that looks pretty good. There's a garnish. Yeah, those both look pretty good. And I only have a little bit of garnish left, so there's no danger of over garnishing. Wow, whew. That's kind of pretty. Did they move? Yes, they move. I'm gonna take some pictures quick. There, how's that look? Oops, losing off the front. Pretty good, if I'd say. Well, like I said, two of my favorite things together, a Denver omelet and hash browns. Oh, that's good. That's really good. The American cheese is just the right amount of cheese, and the Holy Trinity is just the right amount of burned yet crunchy. Boy, this is so good, and everything is so good together. Well, this has been Paul Plays with Fire. Thanks for watching.